Greetings, brothers and sisters. I'm Professor Spira, and today we have a tragedy to talk about.
This event started at about 3:15. It did involve a man driving a pickup truck down Bourbon Street at a very fast pace, and it was very intentional behavior. This man was trying to run over as many people as he possibly could.
What do we have to do as a people, as a society? What would we have to do if we wanted to prevent tragedies from happening, the kind of tragedy that happened last night on New Year's going into 2025? Had a massive tragedy happen down in New Orleans, Louisiana, where a psychopath took a vehicle, drove into a bunch of people and got out of the vehicle, started shooting people. I'm going to ask one question about this. What was he eating? What was he eating? In any tragedy, there is only one question that needs to be asked, and the answer to that question will give you all the information that you need to understand why something happened. What were they eating? What was he eating? So today we're going to talk about this news story a little bit, give you the physiological perspective. There's nobody else in the world that I'm aware of that's going to be talking about this subject and tying poor diet and poor lifestyle to that kind of behavior. Because people don't want to admit that diet has that much to do with the suffering that we live in. This reality. We want to blame it on everything else. People want to blame it on, it was mental illness. We want to blame it on aliens. We want to blame it on 5G or the x-rays or the chemicals and all this kind of stuff instead of what were they eating? Were they eating pus and mucus forming foods? Not cooked foods. You can eat mucus-free cooked foods. You're not going to become a murderous psychopath. Pus and mucus forming foods breed all manner of tragedy. This Shamsud-din Jabbar, at least 15 people at the time of doing this broadcast, 15 people were killed and over 24 people injured after a man drove a Ford pickup truck through a crowd on Bourbon Street at high rate of speed early Wednesday. They said there was an ISIS flag involved. Of course, that's so people are going to get obsessed with that particular angle instead of, again, what was he eating? It's the only question I want to investigate. It's the only thing we need to know. After barreling through a crowd over a 3-block stretch, the suspect allegedly got out of the truck wielding an assault rifle and opened fire on police officers. At least 2 police officers were shot and wounded. Somewhere here, it mentioned that he is a U.S. Army veteran from Texas. So 42-year-old U.S.-born citizen, U.S. Army veteran from Texas. So let's dive into this. So I know most people are going to be into, was he co-opted by ISIS? Is he doing somebody else's bidding? Other people would be like, is he like a Manchurian candidate? Was this somebody who has been brainwashed and hypnotized and then turned into, all these kinds of so-called conspiracy theories? All this stuff is going to fly around. What was he eating? Based on just the fact we know, okay, U.S. Army veteran. So let's start there. What do you eat when you're in the Army? Do you eat fruits and green leafy vegetables? Because what I'm saying and what our proposition is, what my hypothesis is that if you are somebody that's eating nothing but fruits and green leafy vegetables, or also known as the Mucusless diet, or practicing the Mucusless Diet Healing System in general for a long period of time. I'm not talking about just a few days or a few years, but if you've been living this way for many years, it becomes impossible for you to lose it to this degree, to the point where you're going to want to go kill a bunch of people, murder folks, whatever. That's not going to happen. Now you can, and look it up, find me instances where mass murderers have lived on fruits and green leafy vegetables for at least 2 decades, but 3-4 decades or generationally. When you start to examine all of the people that do these horrendous things, they all eat pus and mucus forming foods. They're pus eaters. That's the thing they all have in common. That's the one thing that every one of these people that grabs some kind of gun or a bomb or whatever that goes and results in the murder of many people, many lives taken, much suffering, many people injured, so much suffering. And when people lose it, what is going on? At the beginning of the Mucusless Diet book, he says, every disease, no matter what name it is known by medical science, is constipation. So right here we are looking at the face of a profoundly constipated and sick man. There is no rationalization. Well, whatever you want to say, oh, well, he got co-opted by ISIS. He was operative. He wanted to be, he's narcissistic. He wanted to be famous. So he could kill a bunch of people, be famous. Suicide by a cop. Whatever, that's all the stuff that's going to be floating around out there. Oh, some people will come out, oh, he's one bad apple. That was just one bad apple. Other people will then there'll be some people that'll be like, oh, well, look at his color. Of course, that's how they act. Those people, they might not be as popular now on the media as they once were, but those folks are there. All of these opinions, but nobody is really looking at the source. What was this guy's diet like? What was this guy eating? Was he eating pus and mucus-forming foods? Or maybe he's been eating nothing but fruits and vegetables for the past 30 years? I don't know. I don't think so. Not the way he looks. So let's just take a little look at when he was in the military, he was in the army. What would his diet have been like? So this is supposed to be what it looks like when you eat your basic meals. There's not a fruit or a vegetable anywhere in sight. We got scrambled eggs and kinds of mess. Here's a whole tray of some meat, and there's some canned vegetables, some cheesy shells, pus and mucus forming foods. We're not seeing a bunch of fruits and vegetables. Maybe there'll be a little piece of fruit over here, some canned vegetable. This is not the diet of somebody that is going to be a consciousness on patrol, cop, consciousness on patrol. If our military people should live up to that standard, should be the consciousness on patrol. That's not happening because that's not the diet. Starts there. That's the foundation. Some people are going to eat this type of food and they're going to just go get tired. Other people are going to eat this food and they're going to get stimulated. They're going to go run a marathon. They can go to the range and do target practice, and I feel great. I'm ready to go. Other people eat this food, obviously, the people that eat the food and go to war. But then some people are going to eat this stuff and they're going to totally lose their mind, more so than they even otherwise would have lost it. So this is the problem. So I know, again, it's not a real popular answer, not a real popular type of approach, but I'm saying prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Find the psychopathic killer, find the serial killer, the serial rapist, the massacre shooter, the suicide bomber, suicide shooter. Find me the one that has been eating nothing but fruits and green leafy vegetables. And it'd be, for a bonus, throw in doing some enemas. Getting out the massive amounts of mucoid plaque and slime. Mucoid plaque, this is what was in this guy's colon. Decades old feces stones, slimy mucoid plaque. You can't think straight when you got this stuff in your intestines. So it should not be a surprise to anybody that a tragedy like this happens when people are permitted in society. It has been normalized. It has been nurtured, lovingly nurtured, to permit this kind of colon to exist. This should be illegal. Having a colon that houses this level of toxic filth should get you thrown into Professor Spira's reformatory program. With all that money that you're giving to the correctional facilities, give it to me. Let me put together a correctional facility. And I can guarantee you, they'll be more terrified to come to mine, because you're not getting your pus at my facility. You're not getting your mucus. You're getting daily lemon colonics. Hard lemon, 20 lemons a day, lemon rind colonics. Day in and day out, fruits and vegetables. Fasting periods. And you mean to tell me that when you leave my facility in 10 years, that you're not going to be transformed? Come on. That's real transformation. Give me a chance. Give me the resources. Because you can't expect proper behavior. You can't expect some whatever kumbaya reality when this is what's running the show. This is what's in the intestines. This is how decisions are being made. Decisions that affect your life and my life are being made from this. Parasites, the slime, the worms. So if we want to get to a time in human history where these kinds of tragedies are a thing of the past, it's not, gun control. Take the guns away, or take the bombs away and do this and that. Nope. None of that's going to ever work. You can play that game. Let's go to the Supreme Court and, we got to do this and we're going to pass the legislation and, we're all a waste of time. The only thing, if everybody put their effort behind cleaning up their behind, holding other people accountable to cleaning up their behind, clean that ass, 2025, we could put this crusty, fetid, stank history into the dustbin of history. Put it into the trash. There's nothing to celebrate here. There's no what'd you do for New Year's, Professor Spira? I was here working on what I always work on. Practicing the Mucusless Diet Healing System. There's nothing to celebrate. There ain't nothing to celebrate. What they say, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. You got constipation, run them up. How many people, I could do a whole other video, how many people died last night from drunk driving and drunk drivers? You can't have no rational conversation about society and, oh, we're making progress. We're doing well. No, we're not. We're not doing well as a society, as a world community, as a world citizen. I'm voicing my opinion until they censor me and take it down. They love doing that. We have the answer. We have the answer. You might not like the answer. You might not like me, but the answer is always going to be the answer. This is it. This is it. Until humanity changes its diet on a large scale, war, disease, pain, and suffering is the order of the day. A weakening, a degenerating of the human species is what it's all about. And if we go too far outside of nature, why do we not think that we would be taken out? Just like some of our hominid cousins didn't make it. All these people want to become carnivore. We want to be like the Neanderthals. They died. They didn't make it. They're not here. So why you want to try to live like them? They didn't make it. We got to reassess. We got work to do. We got to clean ourselves up. So I thank you for tuning in. Before you go, if you would like to connect with a community of people that are serious about physiological liberation, that are serious about supporting you to help you reach your health goals, to overcome your ailments naturally without having to deal with the institution that's responsible for being the third leading cause of death in the United States and causing over 60% of all bankruptcies in the United States, the big pharma, the medical establishment. You can go in that direction or join us. Professor Spira's Mucus-free life membership. Click the link down below right now. Click the link. Get some more information. Read up about it. Check it out. And then come join us, because this is about support. This is about community. The information is all over the place. You can get the book, or get it anyway. Read the book. We got courses and e-courses. We got all this stuff. But what we need is connection. We need to connect, because that's when people are truly successful on this path, is when they connect to other people that are serious about practicing this way of life, about learning this way of life. You do not need to suffer the way that you are. These doctors come in and tell you that for the rest of your life, you're going to be suffering. You're going through this. You're going to have to take these drugs the rest of your life. BS. Because I've proven that wrong myself, and I've seen dozens of other people prove that wrong, get off of their pharmaceutical medications, get off of all their stuff. Not medical advice here on YouTube or Facebook or wherever this is. This is, at this point, life or death. Is going to be those of us that come together, support each other, build a new society. And then it's going to be everybody else. And everybody else, it's that reality. It's the New Orleans massacre reality. It's the pus-based zombie army apocalypse reality. And we have a shot. We have a shot to step over here. Step in this direction. Let go. We got to learn how to let go of the nonsense. Let go of valuing something that is so pathetic and so sordid. Let it go. Let it go. Check out Mucusless Diet Healing System by Professor Arnold Ehret. Mucus-free life membership. Click the link right now. Check it out. There's nothing to lose except pounds of mucoid plaque. Let's get our behavior together. Let's get our mind, the level of clarity that you get on this path when you get off of the pus and the mucus forming foods. How good you feel. I used to have heartburn almost every day. You said chronic migraine headaches every day. Blowing my nose all day, every day. Nosebleeds as a side effect of nasonecks almost every day. All gone because I started to go a different direction. I started to live a life that hadn't been written for me. That whole pharmacy, hospital, nursing home, you got the cradle to the nursing home to the grave type of reality. They, as Brother Air says, they have a place for you. You today can make a decision. You can make a decision to go in an entirely different direction. But it's up to you. You have to take action. You can't sit there and just, oh, well, that sounds interesting. That's interesting. That sounds pretty good. Let me look into that. Then you don't do nothing. Take action right now. If you're even thinking like that, click the link right now. Join us in the membership. See what it's all about. There's no contracts. Cancel anytime. But at least come see what it's all about. See what the hype is all about. You'll be glad that you did. Life-changing opportunity right now. Don't always have these. It's not always life-changing opportunities, but I know what this is about. This is what helped me get off of all that pharmaceutical medications, go from over 300 pounds to losing over 100 pounds. This is where it's at. If we want answers about overcoming human suffering, we got them. It's right here. Getting off of pus and mucus forming foods, which are the foundation of evil on this planet. The foundation of evil. The foundation of suffering. You can attribute it, if you want to attribute it to some deity or some mythological story or whatever, you can. But chances are eating might be part of that story. As humans, it's as simple as this. The further humans get away from nature, we can build all these things that are, wow, we're so great. Look at all this technology. Look at all these things we built. Are we happier today? Are we legitimately happier with all the treasures? As they say, the poorest person in the United States is richer than Napoleon. Are we happier as a species today than we were 200 years ago, or 500 years ago, or 2,000 years ago? Are we truly happier today with all of this stuff as we continue to eat the processed mucus glop, the pus, the meat and the dairy, where we just become a breeding ground for parasites and worms? Are we happier today? Are we healthier today? Are we in a better condition? Or are we passing on diseases that have never even been imagined before? What's happening? Let's get it together. Thank you so much for tuning in. Right now, before you go, take a look right here. There's another video that I am sure you will enjoy. Click that right now. Stay plugged in. Stay plugged into the consciousness. And I will see you over there. Peace, love, and breath.